Crabman here from Crabman Gaming, and today I'll be playing Cricket Captain 2020, continuing my save with Australia. This is video number 4, part 4, and today we have 3 one-day internationals against Zimbabwe. Strangely, these are held in the Australian winter, Zimbabwe in Australia. These fixtures have actually been cancelled in real life. But let's have a go. I think we can prepare the pitch as well, so skip forward. There was some friction between the Australian Cricket Board and the players about this series. I still can't select it. I might keep the same 15 as I've got before because we just played England and Warner didn't do very well, but I quite like the outfit here. Kind of would like another seam bowl as it is for now. So we've got Warner, Finch, Smith, Labuschagne to make up the top 4, and let's get some form into the bowlers. Hazelwood, Zampa, Cummins, Stark, my main 4. Agar's going to play as well, and Carey is the keeper. And no, he's not even playing, so who's in here but not have anything to do? Oh, Maxwell, of course, needs to practice his fielding. And we'll give this to Pat Cummins. Now, the problem they have with the board is that a lot of the Australian players like Smith, Warner, Glenn Maxwell had signed up for the 100 and before this series had been announced. And then the Australian Cricket Board announced that Zimbabwe would tour in the Australian winter, which I still don't understand. And it clashed with the 100. So there were some players who said they weren't keen to play. I'm not sure if that ever did get resolved. Alright, it looks like a seamer's wicket, because obviously you're supposed to represent your country first, but if you're Steve Smith, do you really need to play Zimbabwe in the Australian winter after you've signed up for an overseas league? So I wonder if I can have my last team announced. I can, although I actually want Hazelwood back in. I was experimenting in that last game. Okay, I quite like this lineup. If you're playing one of the lesser teams, Agar at 7 is fine. Seam wicket, I would like to bat first. Let's have a look at the Zimbabwe lineup. I have played through a Zimbabwe playthrough before, so let me see how good I am with the name. Mutembani, Craig Irvine, Sakinda Raza, Brendan Taylor, Sean Williams, Elton Chingambura, Kyle Jarvis, forgotten Mumba's first name, Mufudza and Tendai Chatara round out the attack. Mufudza on debut. I think we've got pace bowler. I think he's a pace bowler. I think they're all pace bowlers. Maybe Mumba's a spinner. I can't remember. And a very strong Australian lineup that are going to bat first. It's the Australian winter. We might finally see some rain. I still haven't seen any rain in this game in any format at the moment. I want to see the rain in a T20 or a one-day international so I can see what happens with the DLS. Let's have a look. I don't think Zimbabwe have any spinners. Chatara, oh yep, this fella here, Mufudza, is a spinner. Pretty good record there in Zimbabwe. Let's have another quick look. Carl Mumba, I knew it was Carl Mumba, right fast medium, Kyle Jarvis and Chingambura there to round out the attack. No Wellington Mazakadza, who bowls sometimes for them, bowls some spin. And let's see how we go. I'm going to start fairly attacking. I'll do highlights like I normally do. Highlights for the first 10 and then for the final 5. Well, that's a risky run. Actually, it's not that risky. Strange highlight. So I'm not too worried if I don't get off to a blistering start, because I know I can make it up later if I've got wickets in hand. I don't think Australia have played Zimbabwe for quite a long time. My worst memory of Zimbabwe is when they beat Australia at one of the T20 World Cups, one of the early ones. Might have been 2007, maybe the first one, which was a bit of a shame. All right, Finch has gone early. Steve Smith should get himself settled. Whoops, sorry, I accidentally clicked that highlight. It has been a long time. They do have some history. Zimbabwe were very strong. You could call it the classic era of Zimbabwe, where they had Grant Flower, They had Andy Flower. They had... Who else did they have in the batting? I'm trying to remember, but they had Heath Streak as well. They had a pretty decent lineup that could match. They didn't win a lot of games, but they were very competitive in the late 90s. And then by the early 2000s, they seemed to drop away. A lot of their players moved out of the game or were kind of moved on politically. That was a bit of a shame. I think there's the Henry Olonga incident in the 2003 World Cup. And then he moved to England and never played for Zimbabwe again. So that's been a bit of a shame. Australians probably mostly remember Zimbabwe for the test match in Perth. And I want to say it was in 2004, where Australia played Zimbabwe and Matthew Hayden scored 380, which was the world record score. So he'd eclipsed Brian Lara's 375 and beat that with his own 380. And then just a few months later, Brian Lara was playing against England. The West Indies were playing England, and he reclaimed that score back. I think what had happened was the West Indies were 3 down in the series, and it was the 4th test match. So they just decided to bat as long as possible so that they didn't lose 4-0. So Brian Lara went on to score 400 as Warner cuts a magnificent 6. I nearly called him Warren. Gee, the runs are flat. Now that's a big over of 19. And we're in the first 10. We haven't even tried to bat too quickly, so that's outside the line. Zimbabwe, that's missing leg? That's interesting. That's close. Oh, just missing leg. Was that Steve Smith? He does shuffle across. It was. So after 10 overs, none for 80 without any real trouble. And they're going to bring on... I thought they should have opened with Tendai Chitara. When I played my Zimbabwe save, he always opened the bowling and did a really, really good job. He was kind of the go-to bowler all the time for Zimbabwe when I played as them. Smith's out for 36. Here comes Labuschagne. So let's get to the 20 over mark. Interesting, Jarvis has bowled almost 10 straight. Going at 7 and over. Warner's doing a great job. He loves playing minnows, does Dave Warner. Oh, Labuschagne's gone. Let's get to the 30 over mark. We don't need to go too aggressive. Let's put highlights on for Warner's 100. Hopefully he gets there. Mufud's has done a good job of being quiet. Warner whips one through the leg side. There is another magnificent one-day international century for Dave Warner. Must be about his... He must have at least 20. I'm going to go 4th one-day 100. Let's see. Maybe it's not that many. Maybe I just think it's that many. Oh, it's his 19th. So he has got a few. 19th one-day 100. I'm going to say it's his first against Zimbabwe because I don't think he's played Zimbabwe often. It's his first match ever. Has anyone played Zimbabwe? Finch has played them twice before. So really... They haven't played Zimbabwe very often, and I'm trying to remember when that was. I can't remember what series that might have been where they played Zimbabwe in 2 one-day internationals. I know they had a T20 series 2 years ago with Pakistan in Zimbabwe. Maybe they played 2 one-dayers then. I just really can't remember. Usually I do know what's been happening, and for some reason I've kept the highlights on. Let's turn them off for the last 5. So we're at the 35 over mark. I'm going to just go a little bit more aggressive because Sukhinder Raza, he's got a lot of overs to bowl at the end. We did see this against England where they weren't introducing the 5th bowler until really late in the innings. So now they've also got Sean Williams, who is a bowler. He does have 70 wickets, but is he someone you want to bowl in the last 10 against Warner and Maxwell? I'm not sure that he is. All-time record. There's not too many games, Australia versus Zimbabwe, so I'm not surprised there's a partnership record. All-time grounder, Brisbane for the 5th wicket. I'm not sure if this is where it was meant to be scheduled. I don't think the game has Canberra and Darwin, and I think it was Alice Springs in as international venues for Australia. I think that's where these games were to be played. I think it was Canberra, Alice Springs, Darwin. because even though it's winter in Darwin, in the Northern Territory of Australia, the north of Australia has a hot, wet summer and a cool, dry winter. So they actually play their cricket in the Northern Territory in the winter months. So some players, it's good for them because they can play the summer in like Western Australia or Melbourne, like Victoria or New South Wales, and then go over and play one of the I think it's called the Strike League in the Northern Territory. Well, I was waffling, but Warner departs for 141. Carey's going to be aggressive. Let's turn the highlights on. Maxwell's on 98. I think he has 2 one-day hundreds. Just the one. Was it against Afghanistan? No. Who did he get his one-day 100 against? Against Sri Lanka. I think I remember that game against Afghanistan because I was there at the Wacker when Australia got 400 plus and Warner got 170 something. Okay, I meant to put the highlights on. Sorry, I forgot. Let's crank it to full. 325. Let's see if we can get to about 370. I probably could have gone a bit harder. Oh, that's out. All right, let's get Agar on near max aggression. Snicks one. Maxwell really should be hitting a lot of these for 4 or 6. Let's just don't turn for 2. Oh, that's run out. It's always run out. If you get a highlight for 2, they're never in. So, Jody Sings, if you're listening, or if you're watching, or if someone gives you some feedback, I'd like to see a highlight for 2 that doesn't always involve a run out, because you know it's coming straight away. Okay, 3 to go. Australia 6 for 333. Maxwell's doing a great job. I really rate Glenn Maxwell. He's one of my favourite players. The Australian board are never quite fond of him because he's a bit of a renegade. He does his own thing and bats his own way and sometimes looks very silly getting out, looks like he throws it away, but he's an X-Factor player. So, in my opinion, he must be in the Australian one-day side at 5 or 6. He just has to be. He's definitely in Australia's top 6 batsmen in the one-day format, and he should always be playing. They seem to always want to drop him at every opportunity, which is really frustrating. Okay, Carl Mumba comes back on. Hopefully he doesn't go for 21, because he'd go for 100 off his 10 overs, which would not be a good day out for him. Nope, he's got a wicket to Maxwell. Maxwell departs for a rapid 120. Paddy Cummins comes out for a little hit. Oh, Stark, he's got the hitting on. 20 off 7. Poor Sakinder Raza has to bowl the final over of off spin. I don't know why there's a slip in. Doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I've taken it out for Stark. They've put it in for the new batsman, but it's not needed. That's out down the ground. Poor Zampa always seems to come in with just 2 or 3 balls to go. And Australia get a very large total. 8 for 364, their highest score at Brisbane. Mumba 4 for 92. Nothing really else to speak of. 141 for Warner. 120 for Maxwell off 82 balls. A very handy 20 off 8 from Stark. And Australia have a huge score to defend. Let's see what the DLS says after 1 over. What should Zimbabwe be on if there's not a wicket? That's plum LBW. Hang on, it struck him outside the line. And was given out, so unlucky. Looked like it pitched in line to me. No wonder it fooled the umpire. See, some people really asking for DRS in this game, but if you're not playing ball by ball or if you're not watching the ball, how can you ask for a DRS unless the batsmen are just doing it automatically? But then it gets a little bit more complicated. I'm not really pushing for DRS to be in the game. So the pass score's already 29 because they've lost a wicket. And if they lose another wicket, I think it will go up a lot as well. That's LB, and that one did pitch in line. Oops, I was going to watch the highlight. Hit him in line. Did pitch outside the off stump, but did hit him in line. That is definitely out. And now the pass score after just 3 overs is 66. So that's quite interesting to see how that works. I'm going to give Zimbabwe... I wonder what their odds would be to chase this down. I would say at least 100 to 1. It would be I was going to say a minor miracle, but it would be a major miracle. Okay, Chahaba is LBW. Lots of LBs in this game so far. Oh, that's just bold. Don't worry about getting your pad in the way. Brendan Taylor, he's been a solid batsman for a long time. Good averages in all formats. Probably been their best bat of the last 10 years, Brendan Taylor. It's a shame he hasn't had the opportunity to play a little bit more Test cricket. Alright, and here am I opening. I did have mentioned this in the last video. I do tend to bowl my first 2 bowlers 5 each, and I'd probably keep them on, but I do want to give some other people a go, as it is 5 for 46 and the DLS is 198, so that is a bit of a worry for the Zimbabweans. Formerly known as Rhodesia, if you didn't know that little fact as well. And they did have a lot of problems with their currency. So at one stage they did have, I believe it was either $100 billion or a $100 trillion note, because inflation had gotten so bad in the country. I think they were just using US currency after a while because inflation was going up thousands of % per day. So just a little tidbit of information. Just have a look up Zimbabwean money and you'll be able to see those interesting banknotes of 100 billion or I think it's 100 trillion. There is a $100 trillion note, which was the value of about $1 US. Hazelwood doing a good job. I might try and get poor Ashton Agar in for a little bit more of a bowl, because he didn't really get much of a go against England in some of the matches. Alright, so let's get Agar in. And I might just give Maxwell a go, just because he hasn't bowled much either. And I would like to have Maxwell available as a 6th option. So they might go for a few runs, but it doesn't matter. Now that's out from Agar, Plum, Kyle Jarvis. Alright, I'll try and skip through the end here so we can get to the second one-day international. I know probably not the most exciting series, but I do like playing the minnows because it gives you a chance to experiment a little bit, and there's very little chance of losing as well. I would be pretty upset if I lost to Zimbabwe, and that's stumped. Glad to see Maxwell get a wicket, and good for Agar's confidence to get a couple as well. His average going into the start of this game was 60 in one-day cricket, so good for him to get a couple of wickets here. I do think he is the all-round package. He can bat, bowl and field, and he can play all 3 formats of the game. Just needs to keep developing his bowling so that he can be a genuine all-rounder. His batting is good. He wants to try and get into this Australian team batting at 7 in all formats. So eventually when Tim Payne moves along, maybe a Carey or Philippi could bat 6 and Agar could bat 7. Well, that's weird. That's hit down to fine leg. The end of the game, Maxwell gets 2. Agar started to pull that average, what's still 59. And Maxwell has a solid bowling average. Sometimes you don't worry about the average too much in one-day cricket. If you're a spinner, you're more looking at the economy and you're trying to keep the runs down in the middle. So Australia win by a massive 243 runs. Glenn Maxwell is the man of the match for his 120 and 2 for 21. Sorry, Davey, 141 and you're not the man of the match. Let's get on to the second one-day international. And I'm probably... Oh, I forgot to do the pitch again. Let's make it an absolute road and see how many runs we can get. I'm going to keep the same 11. I might mix it up. I might give some people a go in the third game. I probably should have picked a youngster over Kawaja to try and give them a bit of experience. Probably should have gone heads as well. Nope, I did win the toss. Did Zimbabwe change anyone? They did. They've brought in Peter Moore. And I've forgotten who they've got rid of. No, Raza's still there. I can't remember. Anyway. So it's surprising not to see Ryan Burl in there as well. He sometimes slots in pretty well. And also Hamilton Mazakadze, but he might have retired. Alright, let's bat and let's go hard. Poor Zimbabwe. Poor Zimbabwe, I have turned it into an absolute road. I would not be surprised to see Warner get another century as he's hit 2 of the first 3 balls for 6. And another 6. This could be exciting. Hold on to your hats. Finch hasn't done much so far. Oh no, I think he did get some runs against England. Warner didn't get very many. Oh, don't snick that. You don't want to ruin your opportunity. It's 39 after just 3 overs. Poor Zimbabwe. It was pretty mean to make the pitch a road. That wasn't very sporting of me. That's a huge 6 from Finch. Gee, almost want to turn the highlights on for the whole game. Let's just enjoy it. Sit back for an hour and enjoy some glorious cricket captain shots as we can't see any live cricket. No, he snicked one around the wicket. Mumba's got another wicket. He's expensive. He's gone for 41. He's gone for 41, but he's got the wicket of Finch. They seem to have adopted the tactic of going around the wicket to the right-handers. They seem to be cutting everything for 6. I've never seen so many balls be cut for 6. On the offside, so many 6s. This looks like a really short pitch. I know different grounds are different, but this offside, the fence seems to be almost on the boundary. It does look short. Okay, poor Carl Mumba, 60 off his first 5. It's almost getting into farcical territory here for Zimbabwe. It's probably why these two nations haven't been scheduled against each other for a long time. 95 off the first 10. Warner 50 off, well, it was less than 27 balls. I actually lost track. Sekinder Raza comes in. As Warner's out, at least for Zimbabwe, a little bit of respite. And just pulling it back a little. Oh, he's gone. Don't want to get too aggressive because it's you can lose your wickets. And we got Carey in, still going well. Raza's bowled well here. Trying to get Mumba out of the way. Let's attack him. Or run out. That's not really what we wanted. We're only 200. It's probably not really where we wanted to be. Agar gone for a very slow 2. Good fight back here from Zimbabwe. This is kind of the problem if you do go too aggressive. And this did happen against England in that I went really aggressively and didn't do very well at all. Alright, let's just try and get up to 300. So really disappointing after being 90. Let's get Pat Cummins going here. So definitely should be enough against Zimbabwe, but a lesson to be learnt if you are going to be too aggressive, it does tend to backfire. Otherwise, you'd end up scoring 400 every game. And here is a chance for Zampa to face more than 2 or 3 balls. He's a handy batter, Zampa. And also quite aggressive, so it is something that you would look for in your number 9 or 10 to be able to get some quick runs if they were in a bit of a bind. And if I remember rightly, in one of the T20s, he did score a really handy 15 as well. Nice 6 from Zampa. He's doing a great job here from number 10. We almost gave Zimbabwe a sniff if we only made 250, but getting close to the 300 mark is, I'm going to say, a bridge too far. Raza's going to bowl the last over. They've got 4 maidens as well. They did do a good job of pulling back the score in this second ODI. So I hope you're enjoying the video. There's Zampa out for 20. If you are enjoying, I would really appreciate if you just flicked a quick like down the bottom or a quick comment. I'll definitely respond. That should be the end of the innings. No. It helps the channel, and if you're really enjoying this video, gee, that was out. That's stiff on Zimbabwe. If you're really enjoying these videos, there's plenty more to come, so I'd love it if you would subscribe as well. But of course, it's completely up to you. I'm happy if you just want to watch the videos as well. Final ball of the innings, Josh Hazlewood on strike, and he's being clean bowled, just like any number 11 should on the last ball. Yeah, I think too aggressive. Lots of sixes though. Look at this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 15, 17 sixes in the innings. Too much six hitting. Bowling figures. Mumba, 1 for 82. Sakinda Raza, great job, 4 for 47. Tendai Chitara, 2 for 42. These two, 6 wickets before them for just 80, between them for just 89. 289 for Zimbabwe to win. It is a road. So maybe, whoa, I could have shot myself in the foot by making it such a road. And Zimbabwe, the DLS is 2 and they are 33. They've gone very hard. Well, that's LB. Started to feel a little bit nervous there after that first couple of overs. I'm still going to go with these guys for 5 overs each. I'm backing them in. Another wicket would be nice. Just 1 in the first 10. Let's have a look at... Oh, I keep clicking that one. I don't know why. Let's have a look at the worm. So, yeah, they're pretty close to us, but we didn't do well after the first 10. Let's get some spin on. Tend to find if teams are quick, once the power play is over, it does tend to slow them down. So Zampa could be in for a big haul. I'm going to go with a big prediction that Zampa gets 5 wickets today. So let's see if my prediction is right. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about this score. I definitely don't want to lose to Zimbabwe. There's a sneak. Well done, Zampa. There's the first of his 5. They're getting a little bit worried. But what tends to happen is there'll be a bit of... The run rate is still 6 or 7 and over. I think it's under 6. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, it's 5. Yeah, wickets will slow it down. Let's get Ashton Agar in. Let's bowl... Yeah, there. It's starting to get a little bit worrying. I tend not to worry, but... Oh, they're stumped. Stumped from Agar. Agar's going to be my man. Back him in. There's a maiden. Alright, I'm going to take Zampa off, and I'm just going to give Glenn Maxwell a couple here as well. Oh, no slip. And he's going to bowl around the wicket, and he's going to dart it in. That's going to be my tactic. No, just pitched outside. It was a good over apart from being hit for 6. Just 100 Zimbabwe need. This is very worrying. Okay, Stark and Cummins are coming back on. It's starting to be panic time here for Australia. I'm getting very worried. It's my own fault for making this an absolute road. Zimbabwe, come on, that's LB. That's LB. Gee, I've almost never been so nervous in this game ever. Playing Zimbabwe in a... Oh, pitched on leg, hitting leg. Unlucky for Taylor. Peter Moore, what are his stats? Oh, just 20 from 50 matches. So maybe we can get rid of him quickly would be good. Oh, no slip. That's bold, yeah, Peter Moore. I didn't think he'd last long. Sean Williams, he's got a good average, 33. Alright, let's get Hazlewood in. 50 for Zimbabwe off 15 overs. Again, in this game, they do go really hard and tend to be... The chasing side always seems to be done by about the 40 over mark. Okay, 50 for the last 4 wickets. I don't think their last 4 batters have much in the tank. Yes, I will. Do you know, I'm going to keep the field out, but I'm just going to bring Slip in. Zampa. He's just going to come in for Kyle Jarvis. Let's, yeah, I'll leave him there. Hopefully he's in a good spot. He's bowled Kyle Jarvis. Gee, what was I worried about? Come right back in. Let's get that slip in. We can be defensive with a slip. 39 to win. Still not completely relaxed. Oh, there's no slip for Sakinda Raza. Come on, Joshy Hazelwood. Oh, no. Okay. I'm going to give Zampa 1. And I'm going to go full highlights from here. 4 and wickets. So nervous. Come on, Zampa. It's been a tidy over. Oh, I thought that was going to be LB. 17 to win. What are my bowling options? I'm going to have to get Agar on. Actually, I won't have to. I can use these bowlers. Oh, that's a 4 down the ground. That is not good. Mumba's batted well. Clean him up. Jeez, a tense finish. 2 wickets, 11 runs. Come on, Joshy Hazelwood. Oh, playing a miss. Okay, we definitely need Stark in. We're going to bring a slip in. We're going to see where he's been hit. We're just going to be defensive for the boundaries, but we'll bring Warner in for the dab, and we'll bring... I don't know what Smith's doing there. It seems like a bit of a waste. Let's bring him in this short leg because sometimes they get caught there. I'll put Cummins back. I'll put Labuschagne back. And I'll bring... There's been nothing hit here. So... Has anyone been hit here? Yeah, some people have chipped some in here. So I'll put him in here. There's no third man though. Got 2 mid-offs. No, that'll do. I don't love it. Let's go medium. Yeah, I don't like this like a third man. Hopefully it doesn't cost me. Oh no, that's a straight 4. No, that's... Oh no, that's 4. It's even. And a wide, and it didn't show me the win. Zimbabwe have won. I can't believe it. Oh, no. Lost to Zimbabwe. Unbelievable. Well, that's cricket, Captain. That's just how the game works sometimes. You can... Gee, pop up a surprise or 2. I cannot believe we've been defeated. Well, this is my own fault. I'm putting it back as a seamers pitch. And... Let's have a look how people have been going this year. Can I swap anyone out? Finch hasn't been doing that well. Agar hasn't done that well. So I'm going to actually give Stoinis a go. And the rest look pretty good. Zampa hasn't done that well. So I'm going to swap him out for Lion. Oh, gee. Let's go with heads. Have they changed anyone? Yep, they're bringing in, I think it's Brendan Mavuta. He's a spinner, so they got 5 bowlers. We're going to bat again. We are going to bat again. And bat how we should have batted last time. I'll do highlights for the first 5, just so it doesn't get... This video doesn't get too long. I still can't believe I lost to Zimbabwe. I feel shattered. I feel like if I've really played and I've really lost a game in real life, I mean, that's what the game does to you. That's the cricket captain passion coming out, losing to Zimbabwe embarrassingly on video. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. It was my own really lack of respect that cost me the game. Trying to smash 400 and then making a flat wicket. We just need to bat properly. So that's twice really the game has tried to rein me in when I've not tried to bat properly. And I'm sure sometimes it will pay off. but it seems that if you always try to be too aggressive, the game will punish you, even against a minnow such as Zimbabwe. And I know you may be commenting down below how ridiculous it is that I lost. So this is where you want to be. A lovely none for 57. So there's nothing wrong with just ticking it over at 6 and over to the 20 over mark. Nice 63 for David Warner. And Finch goes as well. He's been struggling as Aaron Finch. Alright, let's skip through a bit quicker. Oh, Lapascugni, what's happening? Maxwell in. So there's nothing wrong with just skipping along here at 6 and over. Smith out for 86. And getting to the 40 over mark at 254, and now going a little bit harder. Here's Mavuda, the leg spinner. Beautiful. And we're set up at the 45 over mark at 306. Maxwell again leading the way. Let's get the highlights on. We've still got Stoinis to come. Mavuda's going to bowl his leg spin for 2. Chitara 3. I don't really know why they're using him as the 5th bowler. I'd probably be opening the bowling with him. But it is their choice, not mine. Maxwell has snicked one through to the keeper. That's okay. Let's get Stoinis on. Big 150 that he made in the Big Bash last season for the Melbourne Stars. A real shame, as once upon a time he did play for the Perth Scorchers. And he moved over to the Stars. Actually plays his first class cricket and one-day cricket for Western Australia now. He moved back because I believe his father was quite ill, and he did ask for a release from Victoria, and they did oblige, despite not wanting to lose a player of Stoinis' calibre. They understood his family's situation and let him come back to WA, and then he still plays for the Melbourne Stars for the 6-week duration of the Big Bash. Or I think it might even be 8 weeks now, but at least most of the year he can live back in Perth. Alright, Stark's putting some runs on the board. We are down to the tail, but that's okay. Stoinis only faced 2 balls. But at least we've got over 300. So, again, I'm not going to say it's a sure thing, as we lost the last game. Oh, well done, Stoinis. But we've got 2 overs to go, pushing the score close to the 350 mark, which I would be surprised if Zimbabwe chased. But again, I am never going to say never. I've been chased down a few times in this game already. In the IPL save, I made 235 and I lost. So, yeah, never be confident is my motto I'm going to go by. Cummins cleaned up. Who have we got? Lyon and Hazelwood. Yeah, get Lyon in. Have a swing, Nathan. Does like a good sweep, does Nathan Lyon. If you've ever watched him play Test cricket, almost every ball against the spinner, he'll try and sweep. He's just one shot. One shot, Nathan Lyon. Sweep, sweep, sweep. 353. Let's see if this will be enough. I don't know what I was thinking, trying to play through more than one series in a video. These videos are definitely long enough each. So this may be 25 a 25 part video, but I hope you enjoy it. There's Mutambani gone for 1. Craig Irvine comes in. What's this fella's name? Oh, Chamanoa. I wasn't familiar with him before. How old is he actually? Oh, he's 33. Oh, I thought I would have... I thought I'd know him more, but maybe I just never selected him when I had him when I played Zimbabwe. Sean Irvine cleaned up by Stark. Sakinda Raza is still in. This DLS is very high, as it probably should be when you lose a wicket. That looked like a snick. Raza on his way. Australia look back to their dominating best. Brendan Taylor snicks off first ball. Let's get full aggression. Let's watch the hat-trick ball. Ooh. Hit for 4. That was brave. And I'll still bowl these 2. 5. Pat Cummins 3 for 11. Well, that's out as well. Williams gone for 10. Brendan Mavuta. Might be Brandon. Well, he's gone for a golden. Let me check. Is it Brendan or Brandon? Oh, it is Brandon. Brandon Mavuta. He is gone for a golden as well. And Zimbabwe 6 for 28. Australia trying to extract some revenge after the humiliation of the previous game. And Crabman's humiliation for losing to Zimbabwe. Don't think I'll ever live that down. Alright, little fight back. Let's get Lion in. Move the field back. Just trying to dig in for a little bit, Zimbabwe. I think they do hold a record of, I want to say, losing a one-day international in the fastest time. I believe there was a game they may have scored 30-something against Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka chased it down in 4 overs. So might be something for you to have a little check on. I didn't research it before this game, but I do remember there was a one-day international, may have been around 2004 or 5 when they were at their lowest. And they made, I think they might have made 32, and Sri Lanka chased it down in 4 overs. Something really silly. So it may be the fastest chase ever, although there are now a few more associates getting international status. We have heard of the infamous games in the women's T20 where the Ugandan side were bowled out for like 11 and 8 and 7 in 3 consecutive matches. So there can be some quite strange irregularities when you start including countries from all around the world in international status. Okay, let's get Stoinis on. In he comes. There's a wicket, first ball, and Zimbabwe look like they're about to be all out for not many. 2 crushing wins for Australia and a humiliating defeat. There we go. Stoinis just gets the 1 over. Best new all-time record at Perth for Australia versus Zimbabwe. I don't think they've played too many times. Probably since the late 90s when they used to have the tri-series. Zimbabwe would come out for that sometimes. And Zimbabwe all out for 78. So Smith, 86 off 71. Warner, 63 off 62. Maxwell, 73. He had a good series. Let's check the series stats, which I think I forgot to do in my last video. Australia won by 273 runs. Zimbabwe snuck a 2-wicket win. And then we beat Zimbabwe by 275 runs again. So if you look at Australia, plenty of runs for Warner and Maxwell. Let's put the batting on. So 100. Warner passed 50 every time. Maxwell 100 and a 50. Smith got a 50. No one else got a 50. However, Carey chipped in. Finch, yeah, probably could have done better. Labuschagne was okay. And really there is the bowlers. And Agar didn't really do much. Didn't get much of a chance. And for bowling, lots of wickets for Cummins, 9 at 12. And everyone else really just chipped in. Zampa was a bit disappointing just with the 1 wicket. Zimbabwe stats, Sukinda Raza, the highest scorer with 95, and Chahaba got 84 with Craig Irvine. Not really too much else to write home about. And Mumba, 6 wickets, but was expensive. Sukinda Raza did a great job with his off-spin in his, well, he played 3 matches, but only bowled 18 overs. And really, Mavuta got a 4-for. And then, did he not play that 3rd game? That was interesting. Interesting selection that he took 4-for and then didn't play again. I'm pretty sure he played in this match. Oh no, he did just play in the 3rd match, so he took 4 wickets there for 72. And that is the end of this video. So Australia win 2-1, and the next series is a T20 West Indies in Australia. So have a wonderful afternoon or evening or morning or whenever you're watching. Stay safe and see you soon.